Sabi, may ramdam ko congressman yan at wala sa Senado. At yung kondo po nasa Bonifacio Global City o BGC. Sagot naman ni Christie. Pagpag lahat ang kulang po, wala sa Senado. Kaya wala sa Senado, wala sa Congress at wala rin po sa BGC ng kondo unit. Ibig sabihin hindi senador o congressman ng politikong umano'y sugar daddy ni Dominic. Kaya naman, lalong lumiit ang options ng mga madla at pwede lang nilang pagpilihan. May mayor, vice mayor, konsehal. O di naman.
Hello, good morning once again to our online participants. Can you hear me? Okay, sige, thank you. So, I hope that you already installed the movie in your desktop. You can download the version that is most downloaded by the users. Okay, and you can access the data here through this QR code. And later on, I will give you an instruction also to install the data analysis toolpack in Microsoft Excel. So we will be using two software, the Excel and the Jamovie. So before anything else, before this workshop, let us start first with the preliminaries. So I am tasked to deliver the topic about quantitative data analysis and interpretation, particularly using Excel, which is common to us, and Jamovie. All right, so before we start, let's have a short activity with the participants here on site. So I'm sure that all of us know how to count, right? So let's play a counting game. Since quantitative man, we know already what's quantitative, no? It deals with, of course. So that's why let us test if you know how to count. Wow, ma'am, Han, you know, we know how to count. You're already adult and working. But let us see if who among you here have sharp minds and alert. So this is what we call, this is a common game actually. I'm sure you're familiar with this. It's a buzz game. So we'll just choose a number. So mag-count lang ta. And then, we are going to select one number, example, 5. So, count ta, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, instead of saying the number 5, you will say buzz. And then, continue, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then, the multiples of 5 will be buzz. Yes. Okay? Okay, para maka-relax niyo itong mga participants here on site. So, are you ready? Or you want to trial first? I trial sa daw. Sige. Okay, ma'am, with the glasses, can you choose a number for our trial game? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Layo kayo, ma'am. Ma'am? Okay, three. Sige. So, let's start here. Yes. So, continue lang ang counting na to ha. Okay? One, yes. Ana siya ang flow. If walay masayop. Pero kung naay masayop, there's a consequence. Okay? Kulbaan na din sa say consequence. Okay, let's start. Ready? Okay, sir. Let's do, sir. Buzz na dapat, ma'am. Okay, so that's how it goes, no? Inana siya. So, trial pa man siya. So, ang masayop na sa team will be rewarded accordingly. Okay? Rewarded accordingly. Yes. Okay, sige. Mag-mic ta para madungog. Ay, ma'am, dili na po ta mag-start. Okay, I will call ma'am. Please choose a number for our final game. Katong nasayop ganina. Okay, 5. Alright. Asa man yun, ma'am? Okay, 4. 4, sir. Okay, everybody, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. Okay, so ipasa na lang ang mic, no? 1, 2, 3, start!
1.
2, 3,
Buzz.
5, 6, 7, buzz,
9.
10,
Buzz. 13.
14, 15, buzz. Paspasan na to ni sunod. Maglugay ta mahuman ani.
18. 19. Buzz.
21, 22,
23. 23.
hala.
25.
Buzz. Ah, oh, 25. Sunod ka 26. Wrong. Okay, si Ma'am Jillian Kabualan. Arrogante. Yes, okay, kaya nasayop naman si Ma'am Jillian. May I request Ma'am Jillian to stand? 7. Wala naman na, kay daog na ka. Okay, so we have a winner, Ma'am Jillian Arrogante. Ma'am, here's your reward. My question is, how do you define quantitative research?
Good morning. Quantitative research deals with data that can be analyzed through taran magino kay statistics, but it deals with numbers. Data are numbers. They can be counted, and mora to, I guess mora to siya. Ang basic.
All right, thank you, Ma'am Jillian Kabualan. Yes, you have the idea. So, we have here the presentation outline. First, we will be discussing shortly about the quantitative research, the levels of measurement, the basic statistical tools, and then the data analysis and workshop. Okay, so according to Ma'am Jillian, sabi niya, it involves numbers. Yes, you are correct. Because quantitative research involves analyzing and gathering numerical data to uncover trends, calculate averages, evaluate relationships, and derive overarching insights. Okay. So it is used in various fields, including the natural and social sciences. And its analysis employs statistical techniques for processing and interpreting numeric data. So if your research has a numerical data, so that's quantitative research. And there are many considerations in doing quantitative research, no? You have to make sure of random sample, you have to employ probability sampling, and you have to ensure that your chosen participants are selected at random. Okay? So these are the 3 broad classifications of quantitative research. So we have descriptive research. When you say descriptive research, it describes the population. So, i-describe lang nato sila. We will not infer, we will not predict, we will not determine the cause and effect. We will just describe. Next, we have the experimental research. So we have here the dependent and independent variables. And lastly, we have the causal comparative research. Okay. So these are the following methods to conduct quantitative research. So we can have correlational, developmental design, observational studies, and survey research. So these research methods may be used in various degrees with the descriptive, experimental, and causal comparative research. So I'm sure you're familiar with these methods, no? Because quantitative is um, common and the first nga gina-conduct na to, no? Before the qualitative research. So what are the characteristics of quantitative research? Okay, we have the first one, structured tools. Okay, so the tools that we used or the research instrument that we use in quantitative research, example, if you will conduct survey, we have to, if you made it by yourself, you have to undergo validation and reliability test, di ba? So that the questionnaire na imong i-employ or i-administer will really measure what it intends to measure, and it's also valid, no? And it's reliable. Next, we have the sample size. Okay. So in quantitative research, it's not enough to determine a few samples because okay. In selecting your sample size, you have to make sure that the sample is a representative of the entire population. And nowadays, we have sample size calculators to help us determine how many samples are we going to select if we're going to conduct a quantitative research. We also have close-ended questions that is in our instruments. Unlike qualitative research, the questions there, we have semi-structured, no, nga mga interview guides and open-ended questions because in quali, you can ask follow-up questions, no, nga wala sa imuhang interview guide. But in quanti, since we will just administer the test paper or the survey questionnaire, the questions there, kung unsa ra ang naa didto, mura gid po to ang ansiran, no? Next, we have prior studies. Okay, especially if you're going to compare, no, and you have to describe the data, you will rely on the findings of the prior studies. Next is quantitative data. So when you say quantitative data, that's numbers. And we can categorize further the numbers into discrete and continuous. So when we say discrete data, those numbers that are countable. Yes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whole number gid na siya. And the other one is continuous. So those are measurable nga mga data. So example, the height, no, the age, those are continuous data. And another characteristic of quantitative research is that we can generalize the result. So after ensuring, of course, that the sample is representative of the population, our research instrument is valid and validated and reliable, and then we can generalize the result of our quantitative research. Okay, so let's proceed to the levels of measurement. So different data require different methods of summarizing, describing, and analyzing the data. So we have to determine what kind of data or what is the level of measurement does your research question obtain. Kasi ma-obtain anak nila nga data. Okay, the first one is the nominal data, no? Or the nominal level of measurement. So when we say nominal, these are categories. Example, sex, no? So we can further categorize sex into male and female. Your level, isa pa, and many more. Next is the ordinal. So when you say ordinal, order or ranking. So commonly used in survey kanang Likert scale. It's an ordinal nga data. Next, we have the interval. So in interval, there is no absolute zero. Meaning, when we say no absolute zero, example, the temperature, when we say 0 degrees Celsius, it doesn't mean nga walay temperature. Naa siya, but it's very low. So the meaning of zero in the interval level is not the zero that we know nga empty, nga wala siya. And now, the last one, the ratio level of measurement, it has absolute zero. So the zero that we know is really zero. Example, kanang scores. Kung zero gid ang score, zero gid yung score. Alright. So it's important to classify further the level of measurement so that we can identify what's the correct statistical tool that we're going to use. Kay di ba in your research proposal, although there's no data yet, you have to include there the data analysis plan, correct? On what is the correct statistical tool that you're going to use to analyze the data. Okay, so you have to know what kind of data you're going to gather in your research. Okay? So the nominal and ordinal data, we can identify this as the discrete data. Discrete itong makuha na nga data. Because in categories like sex, male and female, we just count them, no? Pila ka buok male, how many are female. And for the interval and ratio data, we can categorize them under the continuous data. Okay? So, nganong gipangutana man nato na why do we have to identify the different levels of measurement? Because in statistics, we have two major branches or classification on what to use. We have the descriptive statistics and inferential statistics, correct? So when we say descriptive statistics, it is a collection, organization, summarization, and presentation of data. So generally, it will just describe the data. So example, the profile of the Philippine Normal University students. So maybe we can classify them according to their program, to sex, to their hometown, and others, no? So we'll just present their data and support textual interpretation. So that's just descriptive. Meanwhile, when we say inferential, it's generalizing from samples to populations, performing estimations, hypothesis tests, determining relationship among variables, and making predictions. So this is the time that we're going to employ different tests, t-test, z-test, regression, and what else? Many more. So these are the basic statistical tools under descriptive statistics. Okay, the most common is we have the mean, median, mode or the frequency, the standard deviation, the rank, the percentage, and the correlation. While in inferential, I only included the few katong common lang kayo, but there are many more actually, which is the higher ones. You have z-test, t-test, chi-square, ANOVA, and regression. Alright? So, these are the common that usually I encountered when I read researches in education. These are the common nga mga statistical tools that is used. So let us have here, let's analyze this research problem, identify which questions will yield us the descriptive nga pang-descriptive statistics and pang-inferential statistics nga pagka-analyze. Alright? So for those who are attending online, you can type your answers and send it in the chat box. Okay, so this study aims to determine the job performance and job satisfaction of 180 employees of ABC company. Specifically, it seeks to answer the following questions. Okay, number 1. What is the profile of the employees in terms of sex, job status, educational attainment, and length of service? What do you think is, what kind of analysis dapat ang atong kanon sa number 1? Okay, correct, descriptive. Because we're just going to, how do we present them? Oh, later na lang, ako pa to siyang i-ask di ay. Okay, descriptive, very good. Okay, number 2, what is the level of job satisfaction of the employees? Okay, hati ang audience natin dito sa on-site. Tingnan nga natin sa online. What is the level of job satisfaction? Descriptive. Descriptive. Okay, descriptive. Okay, I think sa online is sa mga madlang people, madlang people. I think they also answer descriptive. Yes, correct. Descriptive lang. No? How about number 3? Is there a significant difference among the level of job satisfactions of the employees when they are grouped according to, okay, the profile? Sige, hala. Okay, may inferential, may descriptive. Okay. So, the first two questions actually descriptive. And the third question is inferential. Inferential stat, no? Because we are, kung sa keyword sa number 3, nga nakaingon tag inferential siya. Correct. Significant difference. And we can only test significant difference using inferential statistics. Okay? Kay mag-hypothesis testing naman taani. And commonly, when we have this kind of questions, after the statement of the problem, it follows the hypothesis. Tama ba? No? So we will have the hypothesis dayon here that there is no significant difference among the level of job satisfaction of the employees when they are grouped according to the following profile. Okay, so very good. So you are all aware how to identify descriptive and inferential questions. So let us be more specific. What descriptive statistical tool is to be used to analyze the data for question number 1? Okay, frequency, what else? Sa pa'y pwede? Can we get the mean from the sex, the job status? No, just the frequency. Napag yung isa. Percentage, correct. So we can use here frequency and percentage. Or, yeah, mode, no? Kay counting, i-count naman natin siya. Okay? So we will just have frequency and percentage. So i-describe naman natin sila. How about number 2? What is the level of job satisfaction of the employees? Okay, Dabe, let us see from the online answers. Okay, you have the mean, correct. Very good. So, pwede na data mo diretso sa workshop, ani. Okay. So, how about here in number 3? Is there a significant difference among the level of job satisfaction of the employees? Asa may atong dapat gamiton? Okay, I hear T-test, I hear ANOVA. Tingnan natin yung response ng mga listeners natin online. ANOVA, okay, ANOVA. T-test, ANOVA, ANOVA, okay. You are partially correct. Anong partially man? Okay, correct. T-test or ANOVA. But as you notice, I noted there, or its non-parametric counterpart. Why do you think so? Yes, correct, ma'am. If the data is not normally distributed, we cannot use the t-test or ANOVA. So, although we already control the sampling technique na employ nato is probability sampling, although our sample is random, although it is a representative of the sample size, but if the data that we gather turned out to be not normally distributed, we cannot use t-test or ANOVA because that is one of the assumptions magamit taog t-test and ANOVA. So we have to determine first the normality of the data in order to perform t-test or ANOVA. For a follow-up question, which of the following profile here are we going to employ the t-test? Asa man nato siya pwede magamit si t-test ani nga mga profile? Kano sa kita magamit of t-test? So which of the following profile here is kaning applicable magamit ang t-test in case our data is normal? Okay, obviously no, it's the number 1, yes, sex, correct. Because there are only 2 groups, the male and female. For the job status, educational attainment, length of service, it depends upon how the researcher categorizes, no? So, when you say t-test, we can use it if we are going to compare 2 groups. Okay? So if there are more than two groups, we will use ANOVA. All right. So how do we determine if the data is normal? Okay, this is the next question. Okay. So, we are going to conduct a normality test para mabawaan nato if normal siya. There are many ways how to determine the normality of the data. So, to have an advanced interpretation of the value, we can say that the data are normally distributed if our p-value is greater than 0.05. No? This is if we are going to use the hypothesis testing method in determining the normality test. So, if you will be using a software later, this is not a problem anymore because we will just click there, no? So it's easy for us to determine if the data are normally distributed. But to give you an the background of the test, we can also use these different ways to determine the normality of the data. First, you draw a histogram. Are you familiar with histogram? Okay. And I'm sure your data will be encoded and organized in Excel file. And you can just insert their histogram, no? You can see the pattern na normally distributed ba siya, no? And also, you can have the Pearson coefficient of skewness by using this formula. And you can also check for the outliers, lower outlier and higher outlier. So we will not further discuss this formula, no? Kay mura na tag na klase ani. Okay, let's proceed. We also have the graphical method and the testing, which is what we're going to apply in our workshop later on. So we have three testing. Again, please remember this. Data is normal if the p-value is greater than alpha or level of significance. So we have the first one, the Shapiro-Wilks. It's used for typically small samples and is less than or equal to 50. We also have the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. These are not sensitive to tails, and the sample size ideally siya for greater than 50. And last one, the Anderson-Darling, which is also applicable for the sample size greater than 50. Okay. Okay, so are the data normally distributed? We do not know yet. But if yes, we're going to use the parametric tests. So, diri ana belong si t-test, ANOVA, what else? The regression, and others. And no, we are going to use the non-parametric test. So, ila-ilahon nato kinsa ni si parametric and non-parametric test. But if we're going to employ a parametric test, there is a further test na pod aside from normality test. Dagan ba test ani oy? Kuno sa mata maka-analyze ato yung data. Okay, and the next one is the homogeneity test. So if normal ang atong data, there is another assumption kay naman tay there are parametric test nga dili pud siya applicable if dili equal iyang variances. So we have to check if homogeneous ba ang inyohang data. So mo ni siya. Same ra gihapon it's the same rule how to interpret the p-value. So the same way how we interpret the normality of the data. If the p-value is greater than 0.05, so meaning the data are homogeneous and we can use the test for equal variances. No, equal variances. So again, we can only do the homogeneity test if our data is normally distributed. So if it's not normally distributed, then no need to conduct this homogeneity test. So these are the common parametric tests. So the first one is the t-test. So commonly used to test difference between two group means. So we have three types actually of t-test. We have the one sample t-test, the paired sample t-test, and the test for independent samples. Okay. For one sample t-test, it was obtained from one population only. But maybe you're going to compare the mean to the previous, no, to the prior study. Paired sample t-test, you have two groups, and you pair the respondents according to their ability. Diba? Example, if you're conducting an action research. and test for independent samples. So the samples are independent from each other. We also have ANOVA, which is familiar also to you. It is used to test significant differences among the group mean, so more than two groups. And also, some are using ANOVA to test two groups. It's okay also. No? Bihalag two groups lang yung compare, you can also use ANOVA. As long as it satisfies the conditions. What are the conditions? Okay, the data is normally distributed and it comes from, the samples are selected at random. Okay, we also have the Pearson correlation. So, Pearson correlation measures the strength and direction of the linear relationship between two variables. So, this is, the symbol for this is R, no? So, the value of R ranges from -1 to 1. Correct. The sign, the negative indicates the direction, kung proportional ba siya or inversely proportional. And the value indicates the strength. Okay? The Pearson correlation measures linear relationship only, and its significance can be tested using t-test. So let us clarify, when we use Pearson correlation, we only identify if there is a relationship between two variables. Not necessarily means that that one variable causes another variable to happen, no? So that only measures linear relationship only. Identify lang nato nga na ay relationship. We do not anymore say that this variable affects that variable, no? So these are the verbal interpretation if we have these values of R. The kind numbers. Because I was pressured by Mr. Oyanib, the title for my topic is crunching the numbers. So, daghang gyud dapat numbers sa akong presentation. Magtagubtob maniud to tag numbers karon. Okay, we have R -1, we have perfect negative correlation. So it follows here, very strong, strong, moderate, weak, very weak, and no correlation. So 1, perfect positive correlation. Okay, so let us proceed. So these are the common non-parametric tests in case that data is not normally distributed. So there is a counterpart na non-parametric for you to use, no? So we have here the first one, the chi-square test, the test of associations between two categorical variables. So take note, categorical variables. Next, we have the Wilcoxon sign rank test. This is a non-parametric alternative to the paired t-test. This one, si Wilcoxon-Mann-Whitney test, a non-parametric alternative to the independent sample t-test. Si McNemar test, it measures the strength and direction of linear relationship between two variables. Si Cross-Kalawali's test, the non-parametric alternative to the ANOVA. And Spearman rank order correlation, this is the alternative to Pearson correlation R. So summarize the data. So we have here non-parametric test. Okay. So for one group, you have the nominal data, ordinal data, interval, ratio data. Okay, so for one group t-test, we have student t-test, paired students t-test, ANOVA, and ANOVA with repeated measurements. Okay, so how do we interpret? Are you noting? Note-taking mo? Huh? A picture taking. Okay, so how do we interpret the statistical result? So we will base it, no, on our level of significance. So we have to determine unsa atong level of significance. What is the level of significance? It is denoted by alpha, which is the probability that the test statistic will fall in the critical region when the null hypothesis is true. So the common choices are 500s, 100s, and 1000s. So mostly 500s is the choice of many researchers. Okay, so the statement of the problem or the hypothesis is the basis for interpreting the result. So we can say that the result is significant when the null hypothesis is rejected. Yes. So to be more specific, using software, we are already using the p-value method. We reject the null hypothesis if the p-value is less than or equal to the level of significance. So if the p-value is less than or equal to the level of significance, then it is significant. So example, if your level of significance is 500 and the p-value is the p-value is 300, so what can we conclude? So there it is significant, no? Whatever is the question may be. So what do you mean by significant? So when we say significant or significance, so meaning we can say there is a significant relationship, no, there is an association between or among the variables, there is an effect, the treatment is effective, a variable is dependent on the other variable, and there is a difference or different effect. So that's the meaning of being significant. Yes, ma'am? Ah, yes. Okay, the test of normality, the data obtained is total population. For the test of normality is just to know if the data is normally distributed. So even though it is obtained from the total population, since the assumption of conducting the t-test, ANOVA, and other parametric tests, so it's still subjected to the test of normality. So you have to determine, okay, even though it comes from the total population, but if the data is not normally distributed, so we cannot use the the parametric test. We're going to opt to use to the non-parametric test. So that's for my stand for that. My stand, because I don't know if the other it's not their stand. And understand. Okay, so para bang to be safe, no, because the assumption of using the parametric test is for the data to be normally distributed. Yes. Even though it's either from the sample or from the total population. Okay? Because there are cases though that you have to include, especially if the scope of your study is just small, you have to obtain data from the entire population. Okay. So let's proceed. Oh, I'm done with the presentation, the ISO. I think let's proceed to the workshop because we only have mga 33 minutes. So we will first utilize the Microsoft Excel in analyzing the data. So I'm sure that some of you are using Excel, but just in case, if you don't have the data analysis tool pack in Excel, can you open your Excel first? Okay, open your Excel and go to the data tab to see if you have data analysis add-in. Nasa inyo? Because some of the Excel koan kay wala. Data tab here kani, and then check if there is data analysis kaning naka encircled with red. Do you have data analysis add-ins sa inyong Excel, ma'ams and sir? Okay. For those na wala, you go to file, then click the options. You click the file, tong pinakakilid, and options is located at the bottom. And then look for the add-ins and click go at the bottom. So kindly, kuan? Yes, ma'am. And then, yeah, click the analysis toolpack box and click OK. So after that, Yeah, you can check both. You can check only analysis toolpath. You can check both or only one. And then click OK. Thus, after that, your Excel now should now have the data analysis under the data tab. Okay na po ba tayo? Okay, give me a thumbs up from the on-site participants if your Excel is now okay. Right? How about the online? Do you also participate? Okay, thank you. Did you already download the data set? Okay. Sige, you can open your data set. Okay, balik sa ta. Alright, so for those who don't have Jamovie yet, you can also download Jamovie while we're having the analysis using Excel. Not yet pa daw. Okay, shall we proceed? So what you're going to do, first identify the appropriate statistical tools, analyze the data, and make a brief report about the results of the analysis. So this is the problem that you're going to solve. So I will have first the demonstration in case for number 1, then number 2, number 3. Okay, so the HR department of ABC company studied the job performance and job satisfaction of 180 employees. The information such as should be sex, no, not gender. Sorry, I forgot. I did that one. Job status, educational attainment, and length of service in years were collected. So we have number 1, describe the profile of the employees in terms of sex, job status, educational attainment, and length of service. Number 2, what is the level of job performance and job satisfaction of the employees? And 3, is there a linear association between job performance and job satisfaction? Earlier, we answered this no on what statistical tool we're going to use. So for number 1, what is the statistical tool that we're going to use to analyze this data? Frequency and, yes, percentage. For number 2, the mean, and number 3, is there a linear relationship? Okay, the correlation or the Pearson R. Yes. So let's start first with the basic. So first is question number 1. This is for the demo. You can follow because this is step-by-step instruction. So you can go to your Excel file. So step 1, you open your file, make a table for the output of the data. For example, like this. So anywhere blank on the same sheet. So that organized na ang atong data after. Okay, and then step 2, you insert the formula to determine the frequency. So we'll use the formula of count if. So just type in equals, count if, no space, open parentheses, range, criteria, then enter. So this is the guide. Okay. So what is the criteria? So how is the gender or the sex is being categorized? Diba it's male and female? So if you want to know the male, you write male, just like this. Enclosed in quotation marks. Okay. And that should be the result of your data. Okay, for the actual demonstration, let's open the file. Okay, for example, this one. Okay, you can familiarize no what is the range of your data. Example here, it starts with B2 going to, what's the last one? B2 until 181. Yeah, so that you will not scroll down later on when you enter the formula. Sige, so we have here the sex, which is classified as male and female, and then the frequency, and the percentage. Okay, so let's count lang, no? So, instead of counting it manually, we'll write count if. And then the range is B2 colon B181. Tapos, comma, then, quotation ba? Okay, so you have 104. You can just copy the formula for female but change the criteria, no? You can have female. Okay, so it really saves time, no? And dili pa ka malibat magtanaw sa mga data. Especially if you have more than 30 respondents, it's difficult to. And then, okay, let's get the percentage. Let's get the total. Okay, what's the total respondents? So just get the sum. Okay, so there are 180 respondents. So let's get the percentage. So equal, and then all over 180. Tapos, no need to multiply it with 100. We'll just go to this tab, no? Percent. 58%. And if your panelist or if your teacher requires you to have two decimal places, okay, expand it to how many places, decimal places you like. And then just scroll down. Okay. So you have now a data ready for interpretation. You will just add now textual description of that. You will explain here that in the respondents, there are 104 male, which consists 57.78%. Or the way, how the way you present it. Ay, oh. Okay. The QR code. Let's go back for a while. Okay? Ay, at sa messenger, kindly share na lang. Kato akong gisend sa imo sa messenger. Naka-follow ba ang tanan? Wala pa ang uban? Sige. How about from our online participants? Do you follow? Ay, hala. Hala, sorry. Sorry. I forgot to, wala di siya na-share sa online, no? Sorry. Okay, I'll repeat my, Yes, ma'am. Okay. Sorry. Entire screen na lang di ay. Hindi na ko na-share sa ilang everything. Alright. Sige. So, to make bawi with the online participants, let's go to job status. Okay? So, you can make a table first. Okay, the job status. And what is the classification of our job status? Okay, outsourced and regular. Okay. Okay, you can just copy this. Okay, the range of our outsourced. So to count how many outsourced employees, so just write equal sign, count if. What is the range of our job status? C na ta. C2 going to C181. And then, comma, enclose in the quotation, outsource. Para maihap siya. Okay. Then, enter. Okay, so there are 90 outsourced employees. And then, you'll just edit the formula. Replace the outsourced with regular. Okay, so 90 outsourced and 90 regular. So 50-50, no? Can just copy this. And yun, automatic. Okay, any questions? Do you follow? Give me a thumbs up if do you follow? All right. Okay, thank you so much. So, can you do the rest independently? Just like the educational attainment and the length of service. No? So, if you're done with that, shall we proceed to number 2? Wala pa di ay, sorry. Paspas pa si ma'am. Yes? Ay, the data. Ay, okay, going Excel. Kani dire. So if your research is just about descriptive, no need to use SPSS or other koan. We can actually analyze using Excel. All right. Naka-follow po ba? Sensya na po. Nasend mo na yung link ng data sa chat. Okay, sa mga hindi maka-access ng dataset, nandun po sa chat sa Gmeet, nilagay yung link. So you can download. Okay, so you can do the rest with educational attainment and length of service, no? Okay, shall we proceed? So you can do the same for C and C to D. How about let's proceed to number 2. What is the level of job performance and job satisfaction of the employees? Okay, you'll just get the mean. So you know already the formula for the mean, right? Average lang. Okay. So for example, if you want to get the level of the job performance of the employees, we're just going to get the average, no? So I will just write the formula here para malapit kasi kung doon pa sa ibaba, napakalayo na ng data. So job performance. So we're referring to the level of the job performance. So we'll just get the average. Okay, and the range, okay, we have F2 up to F181. Okay, so yun lang. Okay? So madali lang. So the level of job performance is 4.17. Then for job satisfaction, can just copy the formula from job performance, pero i-edit natin yung, same na ba? Tingnan natin. Check lang natin. Okay, G na siya. G2 going to G181. Okay. Ayun. So the job performance is 4.17 and the job satisfaction is 3.81. But if you want to fix it to two decimal places, so i-adjust nyo lang siya sa itaas dito. Alright. So we have 4.18 and 3.82. Okay po ba tayo dito sa question number 2? Do you follow po? Okay, and we have the last question no, for Excel. Is there a linear relationship between job performance and job satisfaction? And we're going to use here correlation. So that's why pina-install ko kayo kanina ng data analysis pa kasi doon natin yung titingnan sa data analysis tab. So, punta tayo sa data, dito sa itaas. Yan, data. And go to data analysis. Okay, maliit. Hindi ko siya ma-zoom. Ganun lang talaga siya kaliit. So, hanapin natin na yung correlation. Covariance. Okay, correlation. Tapos click okay. Tapos sa input range, i-highlight natin yung job satisfaction tsaka job performance. Kasi naka-group siya by column. Pero kung naka-row yung data nyo, i-click nyo yung rows. Since naka-column tayo, okay. So, highlight lang natin silang lahat. Okay, and then for the options, you can, the output options, it's where you want your data ilagay, yung result ng data ilagay. So, pwede rin, kung output range ang piliin nyo, you can click anywhere in the free cell. Example, dito. Then, click OK. Or you want it to be in a new worksheet, and then that's okay also. It depends upon your choice. Okay. So here, nakikita natin, this is now the value of R. 0.64733. So how do we interpret the result? What is the relation? Is there a relationship between the job satisfaction? How do you describe? This is not the p-value. Ito yung R natin, the Pearson R. So meron ba siyang relationship and describe the strength and the direction? Okay, we have strong positive correlation. So there's a strong positive correlation between job satisfaction and job performance. But if you want to test its significance, so there's a limitation here. We will utilize the software to be introduced later. Naka-follow po ba tayo? How about sa ating mga online participants? Sandali lang, i-adjust ko muna yung... Saan yung mag-i-send lang? Ay. Ba't lang sa akin? Ano yung kang sa meet? Saan tayo? Kita sa online sa meet. Mabasa ka mo. Ay, tama po. Okay. Copy na lang. Okay. Uy, saan ba Pero, yes po. Mm. Yeah, yes, you can. Yeah, you can still include the R. Yeah. Then, i-test mo na siya, ma'am, for significance using the t-test. So, you have to describe also, not only saying there is significant. Ano? Sige.
Kita ang upuan. Sa man ni, uy.
Delete na Rinald. Okay po. Tapos, okay na po ba tayo sa questions 1 to 3? How about in our on-site participants? Na-follow po ninyo? Okay. So, shall we proceed now to Jamovie? Okay. Sa isa nga messenger. Sa isa ka ano, nara na. Naka-access lagi mo ba? Okay na po ba tayo sa Excel? Shall we proceed to Jamovie? Okay, let's proceed na po tayo sa Jamovie. Okay, so let's proceed to Jamovie. Naka-install na po ba kayo ng Jamovie? Okay, so kindly open po yung Jamovie ninyo. Then, click nyo po yung icon with 3 lines. Ito pong naka-red circle. So, ito yung lalabas. You click po yung open. And then, browse nyo po yung dataset. Click nyo po yung browse and then, you will be directed to your file. So, you locate the files where the dataset was saved. Okay na? So, after that, ganito lang po yung mukha niya sa Jamovie. Okay. Naka-import na po yung data niyo sa Jamovie. Okay, so there is an additional step kasi mag-normality test tayo at ang default dyan sa Jamovie is yung Chaperowild lang. So, i-add natin yung installation ng Kolmogorov Smirnov at saka yung Anderson Darling. So, punta kayo sa modules. Kita yung modules. Click nyo yon and then may Jamovie library. Click nyo yung Jamovie library. And after that, search mo yung more tests. Tapos, install mo. I-click mo lang yung install. So, you can type in the search bar, more tests. Naka-install na po ba? Madali lang ba ma-install? Okay po. So, ito po yung sasagutan natin for Jamovie. So, these are the problems. Number 1, sige, ipapakita ko yung process to answer question number 1, tapos kayo na sa question number 2. Sige, screenshot or picture nyo po because I will proceed to Jamovie. Okay, kindly take note of the questions to be answered. So, let's proceed now to Jamovie. Okay, so let's import the data. Alright, so before po tayo mag-conduct ng test, let us make sure that our data are labeled correctly. Nominal talaga yung nominal, tsaka continuous talaga yung mga continuous. So, i-click mo lang, double-click mo lang yung categories. Example dito sa gender. Diba? We know that gender is nominal, so that's already correct. So, no need to do something. Job status, yes, that's nominal also. Okay, I think the data are labeled already correctly, so we can proceed to analysis. All right, so before we answer the question that I gave for this task, we can have the descriptives earlier, yung mga number of years, para madali lang. Then you can compare sa Excel and Jamovie. So let's just go to exploration and then descriptives. Ayan. So, ano bang mga variables ang kukunan natin ng mga descriptive? So, ilagay lang natin siya dito. So, if you want the descriptive tables, you can have it. Sorry. Wait lang. Nasaan na ba yun? Have the gender, yun, job status. And then, you click the frequency tables para ma-show yung ayun, frequency tables. I-click nyo po yung frequency tables dito sa ibaba para makita talaga yung count per category. So, di ba? One click away lang. And you already have the counts and the percentage. So, in terms of here, the sex or the gender, okay, male and female. For the job status, the educational attainment, and the length of service. Di ba? Okay, so you already have the descriptives. So this is your answer for question number 1. But our concern is for the significant difference. Tama? Sige, so proceed na tayo dito. The first question is, when they are grouped according to sex. Okay, so anong gagamitin natin? T-test. Correct. So t-test for independent samples. Okay, so ano ang gagawin? What is the dependent variable natin? Okay, job satisfaction. Correct. And then our grouping variable, okay, gender. Hindi siya na-edit dito sa data. Okay, again, we have to test if the data are normally distributed. So we'll click here the assumption check. So normality test. Tingnan natin kung anong result. Kailan natin masasabi? P-value greater than 0.05. So it's normal. Pero tingnan nyo na yung result. Normal siya sa iba. Hindi siya normal sa iba. Pero our data is more than 50 months, so we can consider the result of Kolmogorov-Smirnov, which is 0.183. So we can consider our data as normally distributed. Okay? Tapos, normal man siya, what we're going to do is to check if there are equal variant, if equal yung variance niya. So, when can we say that the variance are equal or homogeneous yung data? If greater than 0.05 or alpha. Kasi nakaset dito sa atin yung confidence interval 95%. So, if it's greater than 0.05, so we can say that homogeneous yung data natin or equal yung variances. So, ito yung mga test ng independent sample test. Students test if it's normal and homogeneous. Welch t-test if normal pero hindi siya homogeneous. Man-Whitney if not normal. So, nandyan na lahat sa isang phase no, yung parametric and non-parametric. So, i-check mo muna yung assumption before tayo mag-proceed kung ano yung test. But since nakita natin na normal naman siya at saka homogeneous yung ating variance, so anong gagamitin natin? Okay, si student. Isa na yung, okay, student's t-test. And, nasaan na yung result? Nandun sa taas. Okay. So, job satisfaction when grouped according to sex. And the p-value is 0.065. So, it is greater than the level of significance. So, what can you conclude? Ano po yung interpret? How do we interpret the data? Kailan nga ba magiging significant yung result kapag less than ng level of significance. But this one is greater than man siya, so therefore, there is no significant difference. So, how do you interpret that? Kasi result lang yun ng ano. So, if you're going to put it in paper, how do you state that? So, regardless, yes, okay, correct. So, there is no significant difference on the job satisfaction regardless of their sex. No, mapa-female man or male. So, yun yung interpretation. Okay? Naka-follow po ba? Wala naka-follow? Yes? Here, we do not reject, we do not normalize the accept the null hypothesis, but do not reject. Yes, do not reject. It means we don't have enough evidence to reject the null. So the term is do not reject. Yes. Yes. Actually, you can present do not reject the null hypothesis, meaning there is no significant difference. So you can present the both terms. But as from our statistics pod ng mga teachers, there is no such thing as accept the HO, but do not reject HO. We just don't have enough evidence to reject it. That's why we do not reject. That's the proper term according to the persons that I look up to in statistics. But there are some books who are using accept HO. No, there are some books. But according to them, it's do not reject. Do not reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so do you follow with sex? Do we still have time? No more independent sample t-test, so ANOVA na lang para ano. Okay, let's try another variable. So this time, let's proceed to what data has more than two groups. Educational attainment. Okay, let's try educational attainment. Since it is grouped, I think, into three, so let's utilize ANOVA. So one way, ANOVA lang tayo. Okay, so educational attainment yung grouping variable and then dependent variable job satisfaction. Okay, so again, wag muna natin i-consider yung result niya because we will check first the assumption. One way ANOVA tayo. So, check natin yung normality niya. Okay. In 3 tests, what does it say? Is the data, or are the data normally distributed? Normally distributed because of all the 3 tests, it is greater than the level of significance. So, let's proceed to the homogeneity test. Greater gihapon by, it's also greater, so therefore, it is homogeneous. So, here in the variances, we will uncheck, don't assume equal variance, no? Because based on the result, the data are homogeneous. So, we will check here, assume equal. So, we will check the features. The features, ANOVA, the F test. Since ano man sila, normal siya at saka homogeneous siya. So, the result is, okay, what is the p-value? Okay, less than, yeah. So, what does it mean? Is it significant or not? Okay, significant. So, how do you state that? Okay, so there is a significant difference on job satisfaction when grouped according to educational attainment. Yes. Since there are 3 groups, no? And there is significant difference, we want to know now which groups differ, no? So that's why in ANOVA, if there is significant difference, we will perform the post hoc test. Okay? Let's perform the post hoc test. We will check here the 2 key, equal variances. At makikita natin dito kung anong mga grupo yung may pagkakaiba ng satisfaction sa trabaho nila. Okay? Okay, nandito sa ibaba. So, itong si BS or AB or yung degree, bachelor's degree, when compared with MA or MS units, the p-value is 0.250. So, no significant difference. But when it is compared yung bachelor's degree to the master's degree holder, makikita natin the p-value is less than the level of significance. So, therefore, mayroon silang significant difference. Kung tingnan naman natin yung master's degree at saka yung MA and MS units, yung p-value niya is greater than the alpha, so hindi significant. So therefore, nakita natin dito sa post-hoc test, based on ANOVA na may significant difference, the group na mayroong significant difference on the job satisfaction is yung mga bachelor's degree holder at saka master's degree holder. So, ito yung tatandaan nyo kapag gumamit ng ANOVA, kapag may significant difference yung ANOVA nyo, you perform the post hoc test para makita in which group may pagkakaiba. O sa anong grupo may kaibahan. Alright? So, you can practice at home the rest of the questions. Yon. Then, how about our online participants? Did you also try to conduct the test? Alright. Meron pa kayong mga tanong? So it's already 12 no at medyo naglapas tayo. Yeah, I would like to clarify also with regards to the questions of Ma'am Brenda. Yes, I also agree with the comment of Sir Uyanib kasi whole population na siya. So nandun sa chat box pala yung... All right, so I hope that you learned something new and something useful in my session. So thank you very much for listening. Gutom na. Crunching numbers ba ba si Uyanib? Na-crunch ba kayo? Did you crunch the numbers?
Hello, it's already 12:10. The resource speaker is still willing to accept questions raised by our online and on-site participants. Do we have any? None. So I think our online and on-site participants are glad to know some of the basics in using and exploring MS Excel. No, we should have